Hey guys, what's up? Room here from the Midnight Garage. So in order to get that elusive 9-minute Nurburgring lap time, we're going to test all kinds of things to make this car go faster. The first thing we are going to test is to see if some proper maintenance to the engine actually makes it go faster. So you've just seen me done a couple of laps. I will show you the lap times in a few seconds. Now I am going to do some maintenance to the car, and then once I'm done doing the maintenance, we are going to drive back, test it again, and see if the car is any faster or slower than it was just now. And here we have the engine pre-maintenance. Now one thing you might notice is that I'm not running an air filter. That's partially, wire tip related, and partially because the air filter box was rusted, so all the air was going past the air filter anyway. So I'm not going to be replacing the air filter for this video, but you will see what I will be replacing real quickly. You can definitely see that the engine did not like my laps on the test track because all the oil is leaking past the filler cap. But yeah, anyways, lap times. So why are we going with the test track? Well, first of all, I'm quite familiar with it since we're running the same track for years. And secondly, I have a friend who did a sub 9-minute Nurburgring time, and he also did a sub 50-second lap on the test track, but he did a standing lap. Now I'm doing rolling laps because then I can just keep on going and it's a lot faster for us. Otherwise I need to stop every time, and then we need to retake the time and start again and stop again, etc. It's faster for me to just do some rolling laps. But once I feel like the car is fast enough, then I'm going to do a standing lap once again. And if that's once again a sub 50-second lap time, I think I should be pretty safe to say that I can probably do a sub 9-minute Nurburgring time. But yeah, here we have the benchmark. As you can see, I started off with a 58-second lap time, and I moved it down slightly up until a 55-second lap time. But after the 5th lap, I noticed that my brakes were completely overcooked, so I couldn't do that anymore. And after the 6th lap, I had a 56-second lap time once again. So I'm going to stick with 6 laps for this time. So I'm going to do all the engine maintenance right now. And after doing all the engine maintenance, I'm going to do 6 laps again. And then hopefully we'll see a line right here, about here, that shows that the car is slightly faster. And personally, I'm thinking the car will be about 3% faster. Well then, time for maintenance. Old spark plug, new spark plug. I picked up a new rotor and distributor cap as well because I have no idea when the last one was replaced, so might as well do it now. Those definitely needed replacing. Then I also have a set of spark plug wires, but I'm not quite sure if they fit, because if I compare the connectors at the spark plug themselves, as you can see, these are bent. And if we look back at these aren't. Turns out they did fit, which is great. Now I'm keeping the old ones as spares because they still look pretty good, and 3rd gen Civic parts are pretty hard to come by. New alternator belt, better. And now for some motor oil, or should I say motor oil. Ooh. Here we have the old sun plug, and here we have the new one. The new one is a magnetic one, so if I get any small iron debris or metal debris floating around through my engine, it gets stuck on this small metal. And that should be a little bit better for the engine. Now I don't really care that much since I'm going to swap the engine anyways, but every little thing helps, right? And as for an oil filter, I bought myself a Hemp Synergy oil filter, which the new ones are blue, the old ones were green, which I kind of liked a little bit more, to be honest. But these oil filters are designed in such a way that they increase the oil pressure, and they have a better engineered release valve so that the oil pressure is more stable throughout the rev range, and that's very good. Except that this is the original oil filter from the engine, and if you can look closely, you can see that this is an M22 and this is an M20, so this does not fit. So therefore I just bought a Bosch oil filter instead, which isn't as good, And I can definitely hear Tom Wildput spinning in his grave so hard he is creating his own gravitational field, but for now this oil filter has to do. And I am also going to install a sandwich plate because I later on want to have an oil temperature gauge and an oil pressure gauge in the car, and might as well do it now since the oil filter has to come off anyways then. But that's for later. If you want to know how to install a sandwich plate, I have a video on the channel, links in the description. I picked Motul 8100 x-cess 5W40 oil for two reasons. Reason one, it was recommended to go for either 10W40 or 5W40, and as the Civic does not consume any oil, I decided that I would be going for the slightly thinner, fully synthetic oil. Motul is a premium oil brand in the racing world, and the Motul 8100 x-cess 5W40 oil is very commonly used by Type R owners around the world and people who love to track their Honda, so it seemed like the obvious choice for me. Reason two is that, in case you haven't noticed, I'm running a Rothmans Motul livery on the car, so using anything other than Motul would seem kinda weird in my eyes. And while I'm at it, might as well check the valve clearance. Valve clearance was actually pretty good. I didn't have to adjust anything on the intake side, and I had to adjust two on the exhaust side, but only slightly. And while the valve cover was off, I decided to paint it wrinkle black. Now I also wanted to change the fuel filter, but apparently this model does not have a fuel filter. So yeah, for now this is everything I wanted to do maintenance wise. Now you might say, Ruben, I didn't see you change the timing belt. And yeah, you're right, I did not do that. First of all, because the timing belt had been changed about 20,000 kilometers ago, so I think I should still be in the clear there. And secondly, I have a small theory. When I changed my alternator belt, I thought like, ooh, the new one is slightly more tense than the old one. So in theory, I think that it's slightly harder for it to rotate, and if you change the timing belt, it would also be slightly harder to rotate the engine, and it would sap away maybe 1 horsepower or something. So I would think that changing the timing belt for at least the first few times, it would make the car slightly slower. I might be completely wrong about that, but yeah, post it in the comments. And oh yeah, speaking about comments, so you guys really seem to like the project as much as I do, and I'm really happy to see that. And there were a few comments you guys made on the previous video that I wanted to highlight. So the first one. First up, I want to give a shout out to Christian van der Straten. He posted a Dutch comment which was basically his entire brake setup on his own first generation Honda CRX. And he got me some really great ideas on how to upgrade the brakes on my own car. Plus, he said that his brake setup fits his 14-inch MR5 wheels, so maybe they fit the 14-inch Mugen wheels as well. Which brings me to the next comments. Both Matt Bierman and Rodrigo Ferreira had comments about upgrading the wheels, and they were asking if I want to stick with Mugen wheels. Well, for now I'm sticking with the Mugen 14-inch wheels, but eventually I want to upgrade to 15-inch. I think 16-inch will be a bit too big, but 15-inch will be perfect, I think. Also, some of you guys commented saying that one of the first things that I should upgrade are the tires. For example, Christoph said that. And yeah, you guys are right, I should upgrade the tires. But for now, I want to keep the 14-inch wheels like I just said. And I need to find some proper semi-slick wheels. So I'm not quite sure what I will get, because I think the only ones I've found so far are some Toyo Proxys wheels, Toyo Proxys R888Rs. But yeah, maybe if there are some good Advons as well in the 14-inch range, I might look into those as well. B4T asked if I could K-swap it. Well, yes, I could K-swap it, but as far as I'm aware, there aren't any swap mounts K-swap wise. So for now, a B-series swap is a little bit more likely than a K-series swap. But yeah, there were a lot more comments, and what I want to say is thank you guys, everybody who comments. I really like all the comments you guys have. You guys seem to be really enthusiastic, and you guys really want to help me out. So keep on commenting, and I'm reading everything. And like, for example, with Christian van der Straten with his brake setup, there was a lot of information that I did not know so far. So you guys are really helping me out as well. So as for predictions, Like I said before, I think it will be about 3% faster, but I wanted to know the opinion of a true expert as well. So I've asked a local expert, I've consulted him, and I've told him everything I've done to the car, and this was what he had to say.
So I heard that Ruben changed his oil. Yeah, that's a good thing, I guess. Yes, that's a good thing, because when you are changing the oil, then you have new oil, and I think like you have then I think it's going like at least 30% faster.
Okay. I am guessing that the car is about 3% faster, and the expert is pretty sure that the car will be at least 30% faster. So let's do some laps and see who is right. Serious question, guys. How much of these laps should I actually show? Like, I've done a couple of quick shots right now, and I think that's enough, but maybe you guys want to have like a whole GoPro shot of the entire laps that I'm doing. That would make the video incredibly long though, so maybe I could post it on my Instagram stories or something. I don't know, either way, let me know, because I'm not quite sure what's the best method of action here. Anyways, let's go back to the garage, because we have some lap times to discuss. Now, personally, I thought the engine was a little bit more torquey, and I felt like it was a little bit faster on the lower revs, and I felt like it was a little bit more rev happy. But yeah, I prefer not to focus on my gut feeling, but let the data do the talking instead. So let's fill in some numbers. I just filled in all the data. Here we have the original laps, the benchmark from the beginning of the episode. And here we have the new laps. And as you can see, it was a whole lot faster. Now I have no idea what happened specifically here, why I was slower in the second lap. But overall, it was faster than the previous lap, and where I had an average of 56.39 seconds before engine maintenance, I had an average of 53.69 after engine maintenance. So what does this mean? It means that in total I was 4.79% faster after some proper engine maintenance. So that means that I, with my 3% estimate, was off by 1.79%. And that means that the expert, with his 30% difference, was off by a measly 25.21%. So if we extrapolate that data to a Nurburgring lap time and compare that to the original 13.57 seconds on the Nurburgring, theoretically I should be able to now do a 13.15 second lap time on the Nurburgring. Now, of course, this isn't completely true, because this lap is not the same as the lap on the Nurburgring, but at least should give you an estimate. So, to conclude, does some proper engine maintenance make your car go faster? Or does it matter? Yes, it does. And in my case, it made the car 4.79% faster. Now, before I do the next episode, I'm probably going to upgrade the car a little bit. The first thing I want to upgrade is the cooling, because I noticed that if you go really fast for longer periods of time, the car starts overheating a little bit. And even though it's not too bad, it's just a little bit too bad for me that I'm distracted by that, and I want to get that fixed first up. Now, I've seen some people upgrade the radiator with a bigger one from an EG6, the bigger aluminum ones. So I'm probably going to look into that. And the second thing I want to upgrade is I want to install a tachometer, because this car does not have any, and I'm really annoyed by that. And while I'm at it, I'm probably going to add a few more of those gauges because I have the sandwich plate installed anyways. But yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys liked it. Leave a like if you did, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of these videos. And then hopefully we'll see you guys next one. Bye.